Trapped in a gilded cage by a powerful woman's obsession, Ethan Carrington thought he had everything until a chance encounter with a vibrant young art student sparks a dangerous love triangle, pushing him toward a failed decision that will unravel their lives forever. Miranda Coleman is a striking figure in Miami's elite circles. Born into a middle-class family, she showed early brilliance in science, eventually founding a company that revolutionized brain-computer interface technology. By the age of 30, Miranda had accumulated a fortune, and by 50, she had become one of the most influential figures in biotech. However, her personal life was a string of failures. After 3 failed marriages, Miranda had no intention of tying herself down again. She found fulfillment in short-term relationships with younger men, relishing the control and freedom it gave her. As the story opens, Miranda's life is defined by precision and control. She revels in her wealth and power, using both to shape the world around her. But beneath the polished exterior lies a sense of loneliness. Despite her success, Miranda craves connection, albeit on her own terms. On the other side of town, Ethan Carrington's life couldn't be more different. After dropping out of college, he's drifted between dead-end jobs, burdened by a difficult past and mounting debt. His boyish good looks and charm get him by. But deep down, Ethan knows he's wasting his potential. His latest job, working as a barista in an upscale cafe, puts him in the path of Miranda Coleman. When Miranda first meets Ethan, she is immediately struck by his good looks and quiet confidence. She's intrigued by his vulnerability, which she interprets as something she can shape. Miranda is used to getting what she wants, and Ethan seems like the perfect distraction from her otherwise sterile world. For Ethan, Miranda represents everything he's ever wanted: wealth, power, and a way out of his stagnant life. Their initial encounters are magnetic. Miranda invites Ethan to an exclusive art gallery opening, offering him a glimpse into her luxurious world. She presents him with a designer suit and walks him through the world of high society. Ethan, overwhelmed by the elegance around him, quickly realizes that Miranda is offering more than just a casual relationship. This is an opportunity to transform his life. The evening culminates in an intense, passionate encounter at Miranda's penthouse. Ethan is drawn to her commanding presence, while Miranda is intoxicated by his youthful energy and eagerness to please. Their physical chemistry is undeniable, and it becomes clear that Miranda enjoys the control she has over him, both emotionally and physically. Over the next few months, their relationship deepens. Miranda moves Ethan into the guest house of her sprawling estate, offering him everything he could ever want: designer clothes, luxury vacations, and access to her influential network. However, her need for control becomes more apparent as she slowly molds Ethan into her ideal companion. Even hiring personal trainers, art tutors, and etiquette coaches to shape him. Miranda and Ethan's physical relationship is a blend of power and passion. Miranda takes the lead, introducing Ethan to the finer aspects of sensuality. Their encounters often take place in luxurious, carefully curated settings. Miranda's penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Miami skyline, candlelit dinners on her yacht, or secluded beach getaways. Their intimate moments are intense, marked by Miranda's need for control and Ethan's growing dependence on her. As their nights together grow more intense, Miranda begins to crave more of Ethan's attention, while Ethan, swept up in the allure of her world, becomes entangled in her desires. Yet, a subtle shift begins to take place. What started as thrilling excitement for Ethan begins to feel like a gilded cage. Lily Hernandez, a passionate art history major at a local university, works part-time as a docent at a prestigious Miami museum. Ethan meets her during one of his frequent trips to the museum, a hobby encouraged by Miranda to further his education. Lily is vibrant and full of life, a sharp contrast to Miranda's calculated sophistication. Her energy and spontaneity are a breath of fresh air for Ethan, who has started to feel suffocated by Miranda's controlling nature. Their connection is immediate. Ethan is drawn to Lily's unpretentious love for art and her carefree spirit. They bond over their shared interests, and for the first time in months, Ethan feels like he can be himself. His feelings for Lily grow quickly, but he knows that Miranda would never approve. Ethan begins spending more time at the museum, always finding reasons to see Lily. Their friendship blossoms into something deeper, and Ethan begins to question his relationship with Miranda. He feels trapped between the luxurious lifestyle Miranda offers and the genuine connection he feels with Lily. As his feelings for Lily deepen, Ethan starts to resent Miranda's possessiveness. He finds himself making excuses to avoid spending time with her, drawn instead to the simple joys of life that Lily represents. Late-night conversations, impromptu trips to hole-in-the-wall diners, and stolen moments of intimacy in the museum's quiet corners. Unbeknownst to Ethan, Miranda begins to sense a change in their relationship. She notices his distracted behavior, the late-night texts, and the way he lights up when he talks about his new friend at the museum. Jealousy begins to consume her, and Miranda's need for control intensifies. She hires a private investigator to follow Ethan, and her worst fears are confirmed. Ethan is spending a significant amount of time with Lily. Fueled by jealousy, Miranda begins to manipulate Ethan more overtly, reminding him of everything she's given him and insinuating that he owes her his loyalty. As Miranda's control tightens, Ethan feels increasingly trapped. His desire to be with Lily grows stronger, but so does his fear of losing everything Miranda has provided for him. He's torn between two worlds: the comfort and security of Miranda's luxurious life, and the freedom and authenticity that Lily offers. The romance between Ethan and Lily is tender, marked by emotional intimacy and stolen kisses. Their physical relationship is passionate, but more grounded in mutual attraction than the power dynamics present in Ethan's relationship with Miranda. They explore each other's bodies in the quiet intimacy of Lily's modest apartment, away from the opulence of Miranda's world. For Ethan, the time spent with Lily represents a chance to reclaim his autonomy and rediscover himself. Their romantic encounters are spontaneous and heartfelt, contrasting with the calculated nature of his relationship with Miranda. Miranda's obsession with keeping Ethan intensifies. She begins to manipulate him more aggressively, using financial pressure and emotional blackmail. She withholds his allowance, fakes health scares, and schedules elaborate trips that conflict with his plans to see Lily. Desperate to maintain control, Miranda uncovers a dark secret from Ethan's past, a car accident during college that he had fled from, leaving the case unsolved. Armed with this information, Miranda confronts Ethan, using the threat of exposing his secret to keep him in line. Ethan, devastated by the blackmail, feels completely trapped. The weight of Miranda's manipulation begins to wear Ethan down. He becomes withdrawn and depressed, his once vibrant personality dulled by the constant pressure. He tries to break things off with Lily, but his feelings for her are too strong, and the two continue their secret affair. Miranda's obsession reaches new heights as she grows more paranoid about Ethan's relationship with Lily. Her behavior becomes erratic, one moment showering Ethan with gifts and affection, the next subjecting him to icy silence and veiled threats. Ethan realizes that he can't continue living this way, but the fear of what Miranda might do keeps him tethered to her. As the tension in Ethan's life escalates, his moments with Lily become more urgent and intense. Their physical relationship becomes an escape for Ethan, a way to forget about the turmoil with Miranda, if only for a little while. Each encounter is filled with passion and longing, as both know their time together is limited. The tension between Miranda and Ethan finally boils over during a gallery opening. Miranda parades Ethan around like a trophy, but when he sees Lily across the room, something in him snaps. He flees the event, overwhelmed by the realization that he can no longer live this double life. When Ethan returns home, Miranda is waiting for him, seething with jealousy. The argument that ensues is explosive. Miranda reveals that she knows about his relationship with Lily and threatens to ruin his life by exposing the car accident if he leaves her. Ethan, driven to the edge, tells Miranda that he's leaving her no matter what. Miranda, fueled by a mix of rage and desperation, lunges at Ethan with a violent force that surprises him. Her carefully composed facade is completely shattered as she claws at him, trying to hold on to the control she's losing. Ethan, caught off guard by the sudden violence, tries to defend himself. In the chaos, Miranda grabs a heavy crystal vase from a nearby table and swings it at him. Ethan dodges, but the vase crashes against the wall, sending shards of glass flying across the room. The atmosphere in the house turns deadly. Miranda's obsession, which had been simmering beneath the surface for months, has now erupted into something far more dangerous. She screams at Ethan, accusing him of betrayal and threatening to destroy everything he holds dear. Ethan, bloodied and exhausted, tries to calm her down, but it's clear that Miranda is beyond reason. In the midst of the struggle, Miranda reaches for a sharp letter opener from her desk. She plunges it toward Ethan in a desperate attempt to regain control, but he manages to block the blow. The blade grazes his arm, sending a spray of blood across the room. In a moment of pure survival instinct, Ethan pushes Miranda away with all his strength. She stumbles backward, her heel catching on the edge of a Persian rug. Time seems to slow as Miranda topples, her head striking the corner of the marble fireplace with a sickening crack. Miranda collapses to the floor, the impact immediately knocking her unconscious. Blood pools quickly beneath her head, and the room, once filled with shouting and chaos, falls into an eerie silence. Ethan stands frozen, his mind struggling to process what has just happened. The woman who had once held so much power over him now lies lifeless at his feet. In a daze, Ethan stumbles out of the house, blood still dripping from the cut on his arm. His mind races as he tries to come to terms with the fact that Miranda is dead. He knows that staying at the scene would mean certain arrest, and in his panic state, he decides to flee. The streets of Miami are quiet in the early morning hours as he makes his way through the city, unsure of what to do next. Ethan knows that the authorities will be searching for him soon, but he can't bring himself to turn back. The only person he can think of is Lily. She's the only one who has seen him as something more than just a pawn in someone else's game. In his desperation, Ethan heads toward Lily's apartment, knowing that she will either save him or turn him in. The final night between Miranda and Ethan is marked by a dangerous mix of passion and violence. In their last encounter before the fatal fight, their lovemaking is frantic and raw, with both of them knowing, on some level, that their relationship is spiraling out of control. The intensity of their physical connection mirrors the emotional chaos they are both experiencing, with Miranda clinging to Ethan in a desperate attempt to maintain control, and Ethan feeling both trapped and exhilarated by the danger of their entanglement. The next morning, Miranda's housekeeper, Teresa Alvarez, arrives at the estate to find the grisly scene. Her screams shatter the morning silence, and soon the house is swarming with police and investigators. Detective Maria Sanchez, a seasoned homicide investigator with the Miami Police Department, is called to the scene. As she surveys the room, with its broken furniture, bloodstains, and shattered glass, it's clear that a violent struggle took place. Detective Sanchez quickly identifies Ethan as the prime suspect after reviewing security footage that shows him fleeing the house in the early hours of the morning. An all-points bulletin is issued for his arrest, and the hunt begins. As the investigation unfolds, more details about Miranda and Ethan's tumultuous relationship come to light. Interviews with Miranda's staff and close associates reveal the extent of her controlling behavior, and several witnesses recall seeing the couple arguing in public in the weeks leading up to her death. Detective Sanchez soon realizes that this case is more complex than it initially appeared. Meanwhile, Ethan seeks refuge with Lily, confessing everything that happened the night before. Lily is horrified by the situation, but also deeply conflicted. She loves Ethan and knows that he's not a cold-blooded killer, but she's also terrified by the gravity of what he's done. Together, they decide that Ethan needs to turn himself in, but not before they spend one final day together, knowing that it could be the last time they see each other for years. Their time together is bittersweet. Every touch, every kiss is laden with the knowledge that Ethan will soon be facing trial for manslaughter. They hold on to each other, their intimacy taking on a deeper, more emotional significance as they try to savor their last moments before the inevitable separation. Ethan eventually turns himself in, and the case quickly becomes a media sensation. Public opinion is divided. Some view Ethan as a gold digger who manipulated Miranda for her money, while others see him as a victim of her controlling and abusive behavior. As the trial progresses, more evidence of Miranda's manipulation comes to light. Her private investigators reports, the GPS tracker she installed on Ethan's phone, and even recordings from hidden cameras in their home paint a disturbing picture of just how far Miranda had gone to keep control over him. Lily's testimony proves to be crucial in Ethan's defense. She provides the court with text messages and voicemails that document Miranda's escalating paranoia and Ethan's growing fear for his safety. Detective Sanchez, after conducting a thorough investigation, presents forensic evidence that supports Ethan's claim that Miranda's death was an accident, a tragic result of self-defense during a violent altercation. In the end, the jury finds Ethan guilty of involuntary manslaughter, a verdict that acknowledges his role in Miranda's death, while also taking into account the abusive circumstances that led to the fatal confrontation. He is sentenced to 5 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 3 years. The final days between Ethan and Lily are filled with tender, heartbreaking intimacy. They know that their time together is limited, and every moment they share is charged with emotion. Their physical connection becomes a way for them to hold onto each other in the face of an uncertain future. Their love, though brief, is deeply felt, and the emotional intensity of their final days together lingers with both of them as Ethan prepares to face the consequences of his actions. 3 years later, Ethan is released from prison on parole. His time behind bars has changed him. He is no longer the naive, aimless young man who first fell under Miranda's spell. He carries the weight of everything that has happened, but he is also determined to start anew. Lily has waited for him, though their relationship is now more complicated. They meet again, older and wiser, and though the scars of the past remain, there is hope for their future. Ethan, free from Miranda's control, is ready to reclaim his life, and together, he and Lily set out to build something real. Something born out of genuine love, rather than the manipulation and control that defined his past. The reunion between Ethan and Lily is a mix of relief, passion, and tenderness. After years apart, their physical connection is stronger than ever, but it's also tempered by the emotional growth they've both experienced. Their intimacy now reflects a deeper understanding of each other, and their love feels more authentic and grounded.